Hello my lovely crafty people, and we are back and it's time to start work on my discarded vinyl project. And as I said in the last video, I already had an idea in mind and I've been gathering bits and bobs for months. And I've got an old coffee sack and an old sweatshirt that I'm going to combine with other techniques that I've learned throughout the project to create like a patchwork jacket. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to look at the end, but so to prepare the pages, I've got this lovely 1908 Sears catalogue that I've torn a few pages out, which I know is sacrilege. And then I've got some old Christmas wrapping paper. There's the pages, some old packaging paper. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those on the background. I've got my sketch pad that I'm going to do my sketches on, and then I've got some old book paper that I'm also going to use. And I'm just going to create a patchwork across the pages so that when I come to do my final project, I'm not just looking at blank white paper, because I have issues with blank white paper. It just doesn't inspire me and I end up just staring at it. So I thought, let's do a patchwork of these discarded bits and bobs to just go across the page. And I've got enough of this that if I go on to extra pages, I can create that background again. So my Mod Podge has run out, but I found this in the range, which is only £1.29, and it's very similar. So I'm just going to create kind of a background of patchwork. No particular order, just sticking the pages down. Yeah, so let's get sticking. That's 2 pages. Right, so now we've got the background of the pages kind of covered, we can start thinking about the final project. So I'm going to pop this to one side to dry. And as we know, drawing is not my massive forte, but I'm going to have a go at just trying to draw what's in my head. Okay, so we're going to have, like, we've got the sack, so the sack will come down, and I'm going to kind of taper it, and maybe with a couple of darts, but we're going to have a line joined down the middle. Okay, so the sack will naturally, and then we've got the sleeves from the jumper that I'm going to keep as is, and I'm going to attach them to the jacket. And then we're going to use some other material really to add quite a high collar. It'll come round and it will just stand up, and it'll be like a back collar, and we're going to bring that down. And then, so this will be quite a high collar. We're going to have the sweatshirt sleeves. We're going to have different panels in the jacket. Think Joseph's Amazing Coloured Technicolor Dream Coat, and different panels of different discarded materials. We might even kind of do it like swing effect. So we've got high collar, sweat top sleeves, and then we've got the discarded coffee sack body with panels of discarded items and techniques. So this is my draft plan. And kind of, yeah, so that's kind of where my idea is. So you're going to have this collar that comes down and follows all the way down of one discarded item. So you're going to have that, and that's going to come down. And you've got a sack that comes out like that, but you've also got like the back of the sack there. So the sack will have frayed edges, and then it'll come out in like a swing coat effect, and different panels will represent different discarded items. So we might have, okay, and then you've got like the panels, and then you've got the sleeves, which again I'm going to rip and fray, probably do some slashed effect on. So we'll have some slashing. And the materials I've got to use, I've got bottle tops, I've got tin can ring pulls, I've got medicine packets, so that might create that really nice sweep there. So the medicine packets will probably create kind of the stand-up patchwork effect. So this is my idea, so we'll just sew those on. To create, and we'll just create like a patchwork of the medicine packets. I've got so many, you know, the packets, the tablets come in. Okay, and then we might have, so we might have some ribbon woven, so let's do a woven panel or other fabrics. And you get the idea. So we kind of get that idea of the woven effect. And so on and so on. So that is my rough plan at the moment. And obviously the Hessian sack will be there. So there's my rough plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking about that a bit more detailed. I'll start to formulate the body of the item. I'm not going to be able to video everything I do because that's just not going to be practical. But what I will do is do updates as we go. So we've got some weave, and we're going to do some bleaching. It's got some bleaching and fraying. All right, so that's where we are. that simple plan is just going to go on my page because it's just a work in progress thinking. And I am having a look online for discarded fashion coats that have been made to get some inspiration from as well. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me in this project. And okay, quick edit. While I'm still sat here at my desk, I just drafted another idea of my jacket idea, and this, so combination of the panels or patchwork. So this one you can see has just got the cap sleeves, still would have the coffee sack as the main body of the jacket that I'm going to sew onto, or I'm going to manipulate, or I'm going to adapt, and then it will have this wide flapping collar that comes down and will have some kind of fixing to affix the coat. So I'm not 100% sure where I'm going with this yet, whether it is going to be the one with the sleeves or whether I'm going to do the kind of the cap sleeve, almost gilet type. But yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. And just like this one, well, the different panels would be of the different items, like we might have medicine packets. It will just be patchworked on a panel. Okay, and they'll just be patchworked. We might have little can ring pulls to create a panel that will all be like a little bit like chainmail. We could have some pleating, so this could be pleated plastic potentially. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. So pleated plastic to create that collar effect that would create like an inline. This might be lace. I possibly am going to go more with this, but I could still add, if needed, I could still add those sweat top sleeves. So these are my two ideas at the moment, and I'm going to, as I said, work on these and see where they go, and I'll be back with updates as I go. Thanks for watching.